Hi everyone. So this is Akshat Jain, and today I will be discussing about the Perplexity feature on which I was working. So this is the EV automation monthly newsletter on which I was working, right? So in this video, we will be discussing of how I created this newsletter using Perplexity task. So as you can see, this is the Perplexity task query that I have written. So basically in this query, I have to mention like how you want to have the newsletter, right? And so this is the query for this, right? So we can schedule this newsletter on daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly basis, and we can set the time also. Okay. So for this, I am using the research model of Perplexity, so which uses the web browsing. So basically, it crawls all over the web to extract the news that we want. So for this, we are using the only the web section, but we can also use the academic research papers if we want, and then we can select our Notion database also. So for this project, I have made a Notion database on which we will be writing the queries specifically that we want. So this is the thing on which I was working. So let's see. So basically for this project, I used Notion database, uh, mentioning how we want the newsletter should be made, right? So this is the doc hub that I have created. Now in this doc hub, I have made two documents, two pages basically. First is the research topic sections for the newsletter, and second is the guidelines. So first of all, let's see the news section, right? So this is the news section. So basically it contains all the news sections that we want, and inside those news sections, what are the topics that we want to have in a newsletter, okay? So for example, this is the first section, that is the global earth mining and mining developments. So basically in this section, we want to have the export control and trade policies, global rare earth mineral and mining and market dynamics, new mining projects, capital expansions, supply chain diversification, geopolitical and strategic developments taken by the global companies or the countries as well, right? Secondly, we want the section B should have global market materials and battery materials and manufacturing trends. What are the trends going in the battery space, EV battery space, like anode material production, cell manufacturing capacity, you know, all these things, vertical integration, strategic partnerships, all this. Then we have the section C, which says the global OEMs. So basically, it tells how the top five, six global OEMs like Tesla, BYD, Volkswagen, Hyundai, XPeng are investing, and how they are doing their EV infrastructure, right? How many developments are taking place at their end. So basically, we want to have the news related to the supply chain, investment into EV infra, production activities, R&D, how much R&D they're doing, in which model, right? Whatever expansion plans, marketing strategies they are playing out, right? So this is the section. Then D is the global recycling and circular economy, and then we have the E section, which says the which revolves around the Indian market as well. So this is for the global markets, right? Section A to D, as you can see. A to D is for the global markets, and then from E, F, G, and H, we are having the Indian markets for as well, right? So basically, how the Indian markets are performing, how, like what are the developments that the Indian market is having, right? How Indian market is shaping towards the EV infrastructure for the future, right? So as you can see, we have the you can see as yeah. uh, Indian EV cathode materials and cell manufacturing, like how the Indian companies are, shaping the EV infrastructure in India, right? Then we have the Indian OEM landscape. So basically, it includes the top five and six EV companies in India, like Ather Energy, Ola Electric, TVS Motors, Bajaj, Ampere, Ultraviolet Automotive, right? And some four-wheeler OEMs like Tata Motors, Mahindra, Hyundai India, Maruti Suzuki India are focusing and developing their supply chain operations, market strategies, investments, and future EV production plans, right? So basically, we want that how each company like Ather Energy is is focusing on these topics as well, right? So for all the companies, we want this kind of news. Okay. Then we have the commodity price tracker, which basically tells you that this like in this month, the average price of lithium or the rare earth mineral was this, and this was the change which took place, right? Like previous month the price was this, and then what was the trend, supply chain trend which is going on, then the technological updates with respect to the commodities, right? Because like from battery materials and motor materials, these are the rare earth minerals, right? And as we know that there's a shortage of these minerals, and so the news related to these minerals we have in our commodity price tracker and key raw material section. Okay, then what is the executive summary for Aether Energy, right? So like how so basically it uses all the features that we have here. It will consolidate all those features, and then for Aether Energy specifically, it will tell on what areas Aether Energy should focus on, right? So this is the thing, and then we have the next gen EV technologies, like for the future. What are the future advancements that can be done in the battery technology space and the motor technology space in the EV sector? So basically, this section mainly comprises of what are the future technologies uh, are going to be there, right? How much work is going on in these technologies. So basically, Perplexity uses these things, uh, this document as a reference, right? And then we have to set the guidelines. So guidelines basically act as a system message on how the system should work like, or how the system should behave, right? So for example, we only want the October 2025 news, right? For example, if we are making the newsletter for the month of October, it should only comprise the news published in the month of October. Okay, we don't want any other news from like October, like from August or July, anything like that, because it will be it will be irrelevant for the October newsletter perspective. Okay, right? Then we want then we want our newsletter should be data driven. It should contain facts and numbers, not general trends, right? Then we want the uh, newsletter should be action oriented, right? Like what affects the supply chain and what doesn't affect the supply chain. And we want the news which is published only in the month of October, right? So we have written a query and newsletter guidelines. Also, we have made specific news section requirements. For example, we want our newsletter should contain all the news in bullet points, right? We don't want any paragraph type of news. So we have mentioned this thing, right? Then, for example, for rare earth minerals, what happens is that duplicate news gets mentioned by by various websites. So, which hallucinates the AI model to extract the wrong news. So for this, we want only the official news made by these companies. For example, uh, like mineral resources and all that stuff. So we want that for the rare earth minerals and mining processes. Perplexity should only focus on these websites that we have given to them, right? And for section B specifically, we want this news should be based from only these sections, right? That is what we want. Okay. And similarly, like there are multiple guidelines as well, right? So what happens is that when the task is completed, no, I get an email from Perplexity task that your newsletter has been created, as you can see. So I just have to click on the view full response, and then see, this is the news that I have got, right? So there's like a 20 or 30 pages long PDF, right? And then I can export this into, PDF, Markdown, or anything like that. So as you can see, it has searched for 76 sources, right? So let's see the PDF format of this. So this is the PDF. It's a 30 pages long PDF, right? Which contain all the news that we have mentioned in our Notion document, right? Okay. So now the PDF has been made. So what we can do next is to, to design the PDF. So for design the PDF, I have used the Gamma AI. So by using Gamma AI, the PDF looks like this, right? As you can see, like we can, uh, like change the format or font size and all that thing, right? And then this is the PDF that we have made. So this is the uh, so this is my conclusion of making the you know uh, newsletter. I hope you find this well, and yep.